right, we're ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh!
Woof.
Hey, welcome back to Wolfstead Productions. And welcome back to Late to the Murder Party. We are, of course, continuing this long fucking journey through the, as we've dubbed it, summer? Or is it fall now? I've lost track of time. Of the hunt.
Time is warped and time is pendable.
As we look at the Alien Predator movies, the franchise that I don't know. It's a pretty fucking iconic franchise, that's for sure. But
That's to say the least.
yeah. So we've watched some good movies, some really, really good movies, some okay movies, and some not so great movies. Everybody has their Vietnam. So, with me on this journey, continuing still, we of course have the Belgian in wolf's clothing, Varren Gimbold.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're prepared for taking another detour to see how we create some new aliens around here.
We have the... I still don't know how I got him onto this channel. Wolfman Roy.
You lost your control of your TV long ago. I control the horizontal and the vertical. I control the contrast. You are in my outer limits now.
That is somehow fairly very terrifying when you put it like that.
Surrender your ship, or we will board it forcefully.
And the voice from on high, because he doesn't want to have an avatar, the Chaotic Doctor.
You sick of this franchise yet?
So maybe, but I'm still here.
We all are. That's the problem.
Yeah. And today we are covering 2017's Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, do we want to talk about what could have been?
Sure.
They're okay.
So this started out as what was supposed to have been Alien 5. Essentially.
Well,
This
that
was
that was a separate project.
well, yeah. Alien Covenant wasn't even like, really pitched until that fell through.
Well,
That's the thing, like the continuation. Yeah.
From what I've been reading, like
You
Alien 5 was definitely in the talks of getting made after Neil Blomkamp showed that little concept art that he was going. He actually had a talk with Ridley Scott about everything, and they were hashing out some details, which looked promising. Like, and even Fox got on board with it. But sadly, it just fell through at some point. Like, at least according to Ridley Scott himself, it never got further than a 10-page pitch. But it was still promising. Sadly, just never really got off the ground for some fucking reason. Now, this film, Alien Covenant, like, it was supposed to just be a straight continuation of Prometheus. We were going to be diving a lot more into, the engineer stuff. We were supposed to find out more about, how they created the humans and the xenomorphs. and then it will also turn into, twisting that around with, what an old returning character would be doing in this particular movie. Then some rewrites happened, and then we got to something where it's like, well, I can see what you were trying to do, but I don't really agree with it.
No, no, no.
But we'll get into that when we get to the fucking movie. Ugh.
I will say though, Alien 5 was looking very fucking promising.
Oh yeah, like we were supposed to get Ripley, fucking Newt was also gonna come back. Michael Biehn was coming back as well as his character. Corporal
Really?
Higgs.
So they were actually going to bring back Newt?
Yeah. It was supposed to take place, I remember correctly, like 30 years after Aliens. So Newt was gonna be full adult. Also from like some of the concept art I saw, they were gonna be using, I think even like Wayland got some control over xenomorphs and were using them as like scouting drones.
So 3 and
So-
Resurrection were going to be completely wiped from the timeline.
That's where it gets muddy. Like,
Because the only
definitely
thing I
like-
could think of is they somehow cloned Newt, because...
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead.
like there's some conflicting reports. Like in the beginning, it definitely seemed like Alien 3 and Resurrection were just going to be, no longer a part of the thing, and Alien 5, of course, was going to get a fucking other title than just Alien 5. But then Neil Blomkamp eventually got to a point where it's like, no, Alien 3 and Resurrection are still there. Like, it'll be explained why. It's like, okay, I don't know how you're gonna pull this off, but
Yeah, how do you explain that? Like, the concept of them being able to control the xenomorphs. Okay, I see where Resurrection would still be there then. But,
yeah,
because, like,
Yeah, but
she
with-
would have some control, considering,
Mhm.
she's got, like, their fucking DNA in her
yeah,
at that
and this,
point.
at least from what we saw from the concept art, was seemed like very much that Weyland-Yutani would be controlling the xenomorphs through like some mechanical means, because they had like fucking like goggles on their heads and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
It'll look good, just that never materialized. And then especially after this movie kind of underperformed, and then of course the Fox buyout happened from Disney, whole lot of plans just went up in the air.
Yeah. I will say, if we haven't, if the film hasn't already come out by the time that this episode is out, I can't wait to go see Alien Romulus.
Oh yeah.
If it already has come out by this point, hopefully it was good.
Hopefully it was good indeed. But
But-
you'll see down the line.
Yeah, we will review it. That'll be a nice fresh review. So, yeah,
So yeah, getting into this movie.
I'll give him points for setting fire to James Franco in the first 10 minutes.
That was so that was so funny actually. Where it's like, "Hi, James Franco. Bye,
Bye,
James
James
Franco."
Yeah. And granted, like, this predates any of the any of his true, coming to the conscience of the world of his how problematic of a man he is.
But still, it was quite funny, and it's still quite funny in retrospect, just seeing that's like, "Oh hi, oh bye."
Yeah. So I'm like, huh. Not even any lines. The only time you hear any lines from him is when she's watching his wife is watching a fucking video.
Yeah, and in that one web episode that they posted, which was supposed to be like a small prequel to this movie.
I forgot about those. Yeah, we kind of neglected to watch those.
I offered.
I wasn't
watched
sure
them,
if they
don't
meant
worry.
to- Okay, I wasn't sure if they were like that relevant.
They're not super important. Some of them give a few nice details. There's one in particular I actually want to discuss a little further on, just because of how visceral it actually gets. But
Okay.
Yeah, like there was two main ones that got published. One of them was like seeing a bit of the crew of the Covenant before they all went into hypersleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Last Supper. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that showed actually some of the journey that Elizabeth Shaw and David went on to after they, escaped LV-223 at the end of Prometheus. With how Shaw actually put David back together. Eventually,
Sure, she regretted that.
yeah. But yeah, then Shaw got put into hypersleep as well as David was piloting the ship towards where they thought the engineer's homeworld was, and then it pretty much stops at a particular point that then will be shown in the movie.
Yeah, so this actually allows me to get into my first problem with this film. You do not have any time to get endeared to these fucking characters.
Yeah, not really.
There's plenty of time, but they don't fucking use it.
They don't put the effort into it.
No.
Like I'll give Prometheus this. It's definitely some of the characters, like, they're maybe not the most dimensional, but at least you get a sense of what they are and what they're here for very much early in the movie. With a lot of these characters we got here, it's like only 2, 3 maybe you get some sense of them, and even then there's not a whole lot to really hook you on.
No, there's really not.
Yeah, I get the feeling that they were relying on people watching the supplementary material before watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem, though, because not everybody's gonna do that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. So I have no fucking idea. It's like if you go back to something like Predators, for example, there's supplementary material that actually explains somewhat of like, hey, these people, what they did before they got there. But the film itself tells you, hey, this person's this. This is what they do. This is what they do. Go. Like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go. That's why they're here.
It's very efficient. Like, you don't need a whole lot. Just give us something to just tell us something of what these characters are supposed to be about. Otherwise, we just have a lot of like, all right, this is Soldier 1, this is Soldier 2, this is Soldier 4, this is Soldier 76.
Yeah.
This is...
like...
It's red shirts. It's all they are. It's red shirts.
They're just red shirts, yeah. If you're...
They could be spaceboat Mormons, for all we know.
Yeah.
At least tell us they're spaceboat Mormons. You know?
Like, yeah, if you're... But and here's my argument. If you're gonna make your film, especially your alien film, 2 hours, maybe take something from the original and take that time at the beginning to endear us to these fucking characters.
Yeah, like, give us something like the dinner scene from the first movie, or the briefing room or the suit up room from Aliens.
Yeah, give us some banter, give us something.
Yeah, and they try, but it's just, again, there's just not a whole lot to really define anyone. Like, what's Tennessee's character? He has a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
What's Orm's? Like, what's Orm's character? He has faith. That's all we know about him.
Yeah, and it gets him killed. Like that's
like what's Daniel's character about? She cries about her husband in the beginning.
Yeah.
A lot.
I was more endeared to the fucking android.
Walter, yeah. This is a Walter picture.
This is Walter. Yeah, this is Walter's story.
Walter and David.
Yeah.
The androids are the most well-defined human characters in this movie.
David's a dick, but like...
Right.
But he's a character.
He's a character? Yeah. I feel nothing for the rest of these characters. Like, oh no, she lost her husband. Like, okay, I don't know anything about him. Oh, he mountain climbed. Okay.
Money climbed.
He laughed
wanted,
when his friend nearly fell to death. Okay.
He wanted a log cabin on the plains.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the rest
Again,
of them, they mean nothing. There's some good kills. That's like it.
Yeah, it's like, some of them go out in spectacular ways, I'll give it that.
Some
it's
go
just
out
like-
in bitch ways. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
But
god,
some-
dude just gets his face blown off.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Out of nowhere.
Somebody tail to the face.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah,
Yeah.
no. So that's one of the biggest problems I have with this film. So yeah, I guess we should go ahead and summarize it. We should start with the summary of this. So,
Yeah.
Basically, we start off far before the events of Prometheus, where David's been manufactured and he's being taught by a cameo.
Hi, Guy Pearce. Bye,
Yeah.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Hi, Waylon. Bye, Waylon.
Yeah. And you already start to see the problems with David. Like, right off the bat. Like, I do love that they established that. Because,
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't want that around either. I don't want something that's, like, fully, like... I wouldn't want one that's 100% subservient, but, like... His thoughts are already on the lines of a serial killer. You can fucking tell.
When one of his first thoughts is like, but you will eventually die, and I won't. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
For some fuck shit.
Yeah, this is, abort!
Shut them down. Shut them down, please.
Yeah.
Put the knife in the ear and put the shutdown mode.
Yeah, so, and then we cut to, to the Covenant.
Yep. About 11 years after the events of Prometheus.
Yeah. They're
the
just
Covenant.
out there. I guess they were supposed to be finding, like, a new homeworld?
They were
Yeah.
they were on a route to a new homeworld, which was 7 years away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on a colony ship. A ride to Urgh 6, I think the planet was named.
Yeah.
And at the point where we jump into the story, they are 7 years away from their particular destination. And when we find out, so it's very similar again to the opening of Prometheus, where we see the android of this particular ship, which is also played by Michael Fassbender, but this time it is an android called Walter, who is taking care of the ship and what have you not. The ship gets hit by a solar storm as they are trying to recharge their batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to a whole lot of catastrophe, as we already mentioned before, also leading to the death of James Franco, who was the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
Whole lot of disarray happens there. Eventually, rank gets established again. And then, while doing some repairs to the ship, they intercept a message.
Mm-hmm.
Which is someone singing a John Denver song.
Which was kind of big at the time.
Subtle.
Subtle, very subtle.
Take me home, country roads. And there's a whole lot of discussion like, should we follow the signal or should we just go back to our original destination? And eventually decided they go to the destination and they land. And that's when fuck shit starts happening again.
Yeah, no, the John Denver thing actually kind of made me chuckle, because I'm like, I've seen that used in a horror film before, and that usually boded death.
And oh boy, did it do here!
Yeah.
What
Like,
horror movie was it in? Don't remember.
oh, the first Final Destination.
Oh, okay.
The very first one, literally John Denver plays, and it bodes death every fucking time!
Whoops.
Okay.
Because it was Rocky Mountain High.
Oh shit.
Oh, funny enough, that was a franchise that went from subtle to less subtle, because later on in the Final Destination movies, every time they would play fucking Kansas, everybody dies.
Oop.
Oh yeah, once you get to the fifth movie, it was Dust in the Wind, and I'm laughing so fucking hard.
As subtle as a brick to the cock.
Ow.
Oh, they had a good one in the third one though. Like, which what was that? Turn around, look at me. I think is what's called. Remember, but yeah, there is someone walking behind you. Like, oh, that's just creepy as fuck. I love it. Although
Yeah,
John Denver gets played in French and at the end of the first one, so that's fantastic.
That is the most terrifying version. But yeah, like we have a setup in this movie that is very, very similar to the first Alien. You know, finding weird broadcast, going to weird planet, and then finding things that should not be, as apparently they find wheat there.
Yeah.
No, not that. Not that wheat. Regular wheat.
Super wheat.
Yeah, I love that. I love that shit. You showed me that little picture too. Like,
this is wheat. Who planted it? Sees alien at the back with a hoe. Oh, hi. Sorry, there. I was just planting my wheat here.
just tending my farms.
You gotta feed the babies and the facehugger somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they start exploring. We actually find the ship that David and Shaw came on, as it is very much crashed and no longer in use.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find some spores.
Yep. Now, because I'm gonna fuck with people right now, like with your perception of how we do these things. So, at the time of watching this, Doc has not seen Prometheus.
I haven't seen Prometheus either.
Neither has Roy. So as soon as I saw that shit, I went, ah, fuck. They had no idea, because I'm like, yeah, no, that was the thing of Prometheus.
Okay.
Slightly
Yeah.
Of
different there.
course.
Death by
like
space ear infection. Like an ear
Yeah.
infection, but in
Which-
space.
Which, funny enough, if I remember correctly, like, was an idea from Prometheus, like, to have the infection be airborne, that they scrapped from there, but then reintroduced in here.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh.
Things froze.
Oh no.
Hey, don't know what happened.
Did I freeze?
No, the whole thing froze.
Oh, the whole thing froze.
It was my computer. It's all good. We're good. I'm leaving it in. I don't fucking care.
Peek into behind the scenes. Ooh.
Oh no, you saw the OBS screen.
Oh no. There's
Uh,
no more
it's not-
secrets.
Our host is not a real anime girl. We're doomed.
Yeah, they find these spores, as they also are starting to realize, like, there's no birds, there's no insects. Where the fuck is all the fauna?
Yeah.
And of course, with these spores, it's like, what's this? I'm gonna put my face in it, which is, an honor time tradition since 1979.
Oh my god.
God, we literally see the same fucking thing later in the film. We literally see the same thing that happened from the first movie.
Which was deliberate.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Even in space, people are fucking morons.
Yes.
This had me really questioning if these guys were really settlers.
Well, they were not the colonists. They were, the crew members who were supposed to guide the colonists.
Colonists.
Mm-hmm.
They're the trailblazers. They're the wagon haulers. Yeah. Still.
Yeah, still, it's like, I don't think it's a good idea to just immediately put your face into something foreign like that.
Mhm. What is this?
Bite your fucking
Although,
face off.
I'll give it to the one guy like who gets first infected via ear. He didn't see the spores. Like he just
No, he was just chilling.
he bumped his foot against one. He was just smoking one while taking a dump, and then it happened. It's like, but the second guy,
He shoved his
he
fucking
was-
face into that.
he was literally just like, "What's this?
Yeah.
Let me snort this shit."
Yeah. Yeah, first guy I feel sorry for, because like that was out of control.
You never want something to happen like that when you're taking a shit.
No.
No.
And so we do get to see. I like the effect because it is like what happened in Prometheus, and then when Prometheus did it, it was fucking horrifying too.
Oh yeah, like when in Prometheus they inhaled that shit and just fucking dissolved their entire goddamn body.
Yeah.
Like gruesome AF. And then with this one, implants a little tiny morph in their particular body, which is slowly but surely building out, coming out in different ways.
Yeah. Burst out of his back. The other one, I think, did just burst out of
Comes out of his mouth.
His mouth. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the whole fucking tapeworm suddenly coming out. Just blech.
Yeah.
Like, again, gruesome AF. Sadly, you don't really care what happens to the characters, but
Yeah. Exactly.
The effect's nice, but the first thing that immediately popped in my head was the aliens jumping Spaceballs, and that's it.
oh no, not again.
Not again.
But yeah, those things come out. They start wrecking shit. One inevitably gets blown up when someone, hits the fuel line with the shotgun.
I love this is the second time we have seen a person, like, burned to death in this movie. The first time
Full
with
on
Franco, he doesn't even wake up. It just happens.
No, it just happens, yeah.
Well, he
He's
opens his eyes,
air-fried.
he's like, huh? And then,
I guess the aliens wanted their meals extra crispy.
I guess so.
Kentucky Fried Human. And then one of the creatures gets away, though, as our people are now suddenly discovered by our returning pal, David, who takes them to a big, empty necropolis-type structure, and they also soon discover a whole lot of crispy other bodies.
Yeah.
But they're crispy for very different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that, but yeah, this ain't gonna end well.
Oh, no. And then also during this whole time, there's a whole communications fuck-up going on because some ion storm happening.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they do make contact again and send down a shuttle. But of course, when that shuttle happens, there's a whole lot of revelations that we suddenly get.
Yes.
Because these, as they are dubbed by a lot of fans, these neomorphs are not the only morphs we're seeing here.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah. So.
You want to take this, or should I take this?
The bit between David and Walter is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with this bit.
No, like they're literally just discussing, which is of course a very prevalent part of just dystopian science fiction stuff. Just like what does it mean to create? Like does allowing you to create make you superior to such? Yada yada yada. What we are robot, but are we actually like? It's it's good stuff in that part.
Mm-hmm.
Teaches them how to play a flute, and I do love I will put my hand. I put my fingers in the holes, and you blow. And I could not resist and go, ha ha! The old skin flute, like.
So here's my immediate thought was, is this incest or masturbation?
You wonder, really.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
technically, Walter is another form of David. Another David model. It's fucking.
It's
Ah.
bizarre.
It's a new and improved David model.
Got some upgrades happened since last time you were here.
Hmm.
God, all I think is that fucking robot chicken bit. It's not gay. It's masturbation.
It's like, and but definitely a weird thing about it is that, how did they pitch that to Michael Fassbender? I wonder. Like, so you're kind of having a romantic moment. Okay, that's cool. With who? Yourself.
Yourself. Am I looking at a mirror? No.
No. Well, technically, you all are. You just will put it in post.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Never thought my career would go this far. But okay.
I skipped doing another X-Men movie for this.
Well, funny enough, he actually was. I think it was during filming. He actually was allowed to go to the. I think it was Apocalypse at the time, screening. So.
Either Apocalypse or Days of the Future. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
one of the two. I can't quite remember which one it was at that time. Yeah, but yeah, like it's funny. It's like he actually had some time off from filming to go see the premiere of that.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of calling of brothers and such. What does Magneto call his fellow mutants?
My
Brothers.
my brothers and sisters. Yeah.
But yeah, so at one point, of course, David encounters the Neomorph and is definitely not scared. You wonder why. And now we find out why.
It's got my smile.
Because someone has been experimenting in the basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're not talking that type of experimenting.
No.
Because like during the thing as well, we see like he has a grave for Elizabeth Shaw, like making it seem like she died in a crash. No, it was not the crash that killed her.
Mm-mm.
She got a little cut into bits.
Yeah.
The other
And the DNA was used to create a whole new perfect organism. So this is the part of the movie where we get to see that quote-unquote David is now the originator of the xenomorphs.
Yep.
Because we literally see the egg, we see the face hugger. Once the face hugger, like when the chest burster comes out, it's slightly different.
Which her DNA is used, so that would make her the technical mother.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
So in actuality, these things have always come from a human source.
It's weird. Like I said, like
Yeah.
when we were supposed to, what we were originally supposed to get was like revelations about the engineers, making the xenomorphs and the humans, and David would still be making like his own version of the xenomorphs then.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, if you kept that ID, I think it would still be fine. Like, variations of xenomorphs, we see that plenty of fucking times. No problem with that. The fact that they're now trying to spin it like that he's the actual originator of the xenomorphs, at least when it comes to the movie.
Right.
There are actually some things in the novelization that they change up about that, as far as I've read. But yeah, like of course, most people are gonna see the movie. What does the movie present? That David creates the xenomorphs.
Which you get a visible groan from the audience once they saw this. At least at my showing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah. No, like, as much as it makes sense in the other movies, it really feels like you're kind of taking away the fear of the unknown from the xenomorphs.
Yes.
Yeah. And like Ridley's whole point with these particular movies was gonna be originate like finding the origins of the xenomorph and such.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm also thinking like, okay, if you're gonna learn more about the space jockeys or engineers or whatever, not like that's cool. Like I think you can actually do cool stuff with that.
Mm-hmm.
With the xenomorph, it's like the mystery is part of the fascination. It's part of what makes it fascinating, just to see like how did an organism like that came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just if it's just experimentation from in the engineer point, okay, where did then that come from? Because you can make different steps from this as far as you can go along.
Yeah. There's like, okay, to me, I did actually talk about this film with my mother afterwards, and explained to her. I brought something up that had her go, now that I think about it, yeah, that actually, you make a good point. When you watch the first movie, and you've watched the first Alien film, obviously a lot of things are going to get past you. Like your first time watching. But if you avidly watch it, you keep going back to it, you will realize within the film, first of all, it was no accident that these people were there.
Right.
No, not at all.
No.
They were sent there to get this. In fact, they were basically they were sent there. There's no way they weren't sent there as sacrifices, knowing like, okay, well, yeah, eventually they're all gonna die, but at least we'll have our prize. So it's obvious that they knew these fucking things were there. And the way that the xenomorphs work has always came off as engineered to me. There's just nothing natural about the species of the xenomorph.
Yeah, which even comes to its, the first design, which is very much like this biomechanical kind of structure they had going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so to me, I was never so much of the the fear of the unknown with it. I was more of the, what the fuck did we do? And then I was curious, like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea?
And as we found out, it's that British guy who fucked up the German 3 in Inglourious Bastards for some reason.
Well, of course it would be a fucking emotionless android who would come up with this. But yeah, you know what? That makes fucking sense. But, like...
I mean, he's definitely feeling some kind of emotions. It's just, very twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that, but it's also one of those things where I think it's better to not know what we did than to know what we did.
Fair, but it's something that I knew was always going to get answered eventually.
Yeah, as I said before, it's like, if we're finding out, how the engineers made them, it's like, okay, I can still buy that. I can also buy it in a way that David did make him now, especially actually with one of those episodes I saw, which is actually a POV shot you see of David's experimenting with like cutting shit out of Elizabeth Shaw, cutting stuff off engineer corpses. Like that shit's actually really cool to see. It's just when you then get that revelation, it's like, oh,
yeah, you expected from something different, like the engineers, or at least some higher form of life form.
You expect something grand, even though it's basically been spelled out to you. The answer's not going to be something grand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fucking hubris that led to this shit.
Right.
It's one asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, one asshole created by a company and a man who his own hubris got the best of him.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
I'm a god. It's like, no, you're fucking not.
We should have known. I mean, every time someone plays Wagner, everybody has a sudden urge to invade Poland.
Yeah.
Good lord.
It has that effect on people. I don't know why. Right when the Valkyries happens, we're already in the woods.
But yeah, like, I always got the vibe, like, when it comes to, like, going back to even the earlier Alien movies, Wayland was responsible for something.
Oh yeah, the corporations had its fingers somewhere in the pie.
Yeah. Whether it was like, oh, they know who the engineers are, they made a deal with the engineers, or, oh, they backstabbed the engineers. I figured the engineers had something to do with it. So apparently
the way I thought
wrong,
it was,
but, like...
the way I thought of it was, the engineers created their own guard dogs, and their guard dogs turned on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a way of seeing it.
And then Wayland read something about it in ancient text and kind of pinpointed where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, let's look at this cool Giger art.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What is this Eager art? Say to us. Go to that planet. Excellent.
I mean,
well, let's send some people that planet. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Send some people at this planet. If there's somebody there, fine. If not, okay, 2. Yeah. There
I'll
is
give David this.
just
He can draw that Giger art good.
You can. He's a definitely Giger fan.
I mean, it does make me think about something that now I 100% question, which is if you're gonna try to fit it all in together, which good luck trying to get the fucking timelines to work.
It never really works out with these movies.
No.
Yeah, how did the Predators get a hold of it?
Yep, see?
Yeah, which is also funny that, because I've seen some interviews with Ridley, and like every time he talks about Alien vs. Predator, he's like, oh god, that shite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he despises those movies.
Like, it's a fun concept, but no. Like, if you want to have continuity at all, it's like, how in the fuck did the Predators get a hold of xenomorphs?
Morse. Way in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
at this point we can safely assume, the AVP movies, they are just, thrown out the window. Definitely do
I'm not even going on the
count
AVPs.
anywhere.
I'm not even going on the AVPs. I'm going on Predator 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the detail of the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, again, to be honest, like it literally was just like, oh shit, we need another prop to fill the ship. What do we got? Oh, this right here.
Right.
But then, of course, it starts into fun connections because of that particular Easter egg. So. Yeah, it gets confusing the more you think about it.
Yeah.
It's literally the definition of space is warped and time is bendable.
Oh, yeah. So, alright, so we got off track, but, I mean, then again, this is a whole retrospective, so we're going to bring up stuff. So, back to Covenant,
I don't
unfortunately.
want to go back to Covenant. They're stupid. They call themselves colonists that they can't even make a fucking fire unless they're shooting somebody. Something. It's so bad.
So again, we get some fun kills. I think the xenomorph ripping off that chick's head was like, wow.
I'll give it this, like, they're definitely emulating the experience when you're playing as a xenomorph in an Alien vs. Predator game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Go so fast you go dizzy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just kind of deals with, like, a final fight with the thing, like a big climax with the fucking thing.
Yeah, we have a confrontation between Walter and David that, you think ends a certain way, but then again, plot twist!
Yeah. Like, the first time they fight, and Walter's just like, yeah, no, there's been some modifications made since you were last here. Since you were since you were created.
Known. Mm-hmm.
Which actually, like, because, that upgrade they're talking about is the, the regenerative skin, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually is a tell for when we then see, quote-unquote, Walter later on, like, when he still has his scars. Is actually a tell of like, oh, that's the earlier model. Actually, it hasn't regenerated like it should in the new models.
Yeah. So that...
I won't give them that twist, but my main thing is that's less a twist that it's clever. It's more that they made the characters morons. Because like
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
had known the Walter unit and know they have that property, would you might would have asked, Walter, shouldn't your skin be healing right now?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's less. So it's less he's made a clever ruse. It's more, wow, these guys are morons.
I mean, it's a very quick shot we see of regenerative skin, but still, it's there.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, then deals with you get the shuttle coming down, alien starts to try to rip it apart, literally headbutts the fucking glass to try and get into it.
Trailer shot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually do find it very fun to all right, I'm gonna be playing with my fucking my claw machine here to grab the xenomorph, and then we crush it.
Mhm.
And then it starts melting through. Because, yeah, reminder of, like, oh, yeah, they have acidic blood.
Mhm.
While what your main actress is on a bungee cord for some reason.
I mean, you have to secure yourself when you're on top of the ship.
Well, yeah,
Was
but
it-
it's just the image is way too funny of her just being swung around on a bungee cord.
Oh yeah,
Like
I'm not disputing
Yeah.
that.
yeah, like one of those sticky hands you used to get out of a claw machine.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked by the two that survive, though. I mean, like, her, okay, fine. I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting him to live.
Ooh.
Or pilot.
Oh,
Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he
Or
is the
Do we want to
Code
share?
Writer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's gonna let himself die. not
Oftentimes
Shane
they
Black.
do.
He's not Shane Black.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, I don't think Danny McBride had a co-writing credit on this.
on the.
Did he
Wait,
not
wasn't
have
like one of the. Really?
Really?
As far as I can tell, writing
'Cause I
credits was,
swear-
based on characters by Dan O'Bannon, Ronald Shusett, story by Jack Paglin, Michael Green, screenplay by John Lagan and Dante Harper. I don't see any mention of Danny McBride actually having.
Okay,
a
so he was
writing
just in it. Again, yeah, I was shocked he didn't die.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'm like, yeah, that caught me off guard. So I'm like, okay. I mean, you killed off Franco.
credit.
Good job. But then Danny's here, and I'm like, huh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Funny guys don't usually
For some reason,
survive. But okay.
I thought the marketing had a lot of mention of. For some reason, I thought the marketing had mentions of him helping out with something, but apparently he didn't start really doing the writing stuff until next year when the 2018 Halloween came out.
Yeah. No, that was
Uh,
him. That was him. Yeah. And the big twist.
Not the twist.
Yeah. After everything done, we've dealt with a second alien that comes out because another guy was instantaneously fucking impregnated. After we deal with that, everyone goes back to bed, into the sleeping pods, and then it's like, Walter, will you build the cabin with me? No response. The cabin. Oh no, David! David is here!
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Puts her to sleep.
Puts her to sleep, and then goes to check on the fetuses they also saw in the beginning. And then it's like, oh, I have some open space here.
Yeah.
An embryo there, and another embryo there.
Yeah.
I'll give it this. Like that was creepy. That was really
Yeah.
creepy.
I more found it funny than creepy. I'm sorry. Just seeing
Okay.
Michael Fassbender just puke out alien fetuses is just like, that's somebody's fetish.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Reverse Igley.
Oh god. Yeah. I also will say real quick, I honestly, this film did have one of my other favorite kills in it, which was the shower scene. That was legitimately creepy. I'm like, why did the fuck
Okay.
did we not? Why did it take so long for us to get a shower kill from an alien?
It's also actually the first full nudity scene in an
Seen
alien
the
movie.
alien movie, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, the tail, the only reason she notices, yeah, the fucking tail sticking up, and it's like, wait, what? And
I don't
then,
remember
like,
Dick feeling like that.
yeah, and then, then little mouth through the head,
Yeah,
and then,
Yep.
and then, obviously, she got eviscerated. Like, that was
oh yeah,
a
And
good one.
If you notice, there actually is some damage near the groin area, so it's like, oh yeah, see no more of this and fuck shit here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Which again is like also a bit of a callback to the original, where fucking Lambert was at some points thought of to be assaulted before being killed.
Yeah, okay, she was stripped naked.
Yeah.
She had
Yes.
clothes on before that. Yeah, which was, if I haven't already talked about it in our review of the first one, which I probably did, but just a reminder to people. Yeah, when the first Alien movie came out, the first scripts and whatnot, they didn't really have it established what it was gonna, how it was gonna,
Look like.
what it was gonna look like, how it reproduced. If anything, when it's like an actual xenomorph. And so they wanted to like play with the idea of like, yeah, no, it raped her.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, okay, well, no, we're gonna have it does it this way. So like, oh, okay. But we already shot the scene of her. Yeah, no, I know. We'll just leave it in and see if anybody notices.
Well, phallic symbols and all that.
Yeah. Oh, abound.
All over the place.
Oh, great dickheads. Yuck. So, yeah, Alien Covenant is not a good movie
No.
by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not good. I also personally wouldn't call it one of the worst. It's it's definitely in that range of like middle to lower middle. Like it was funny because like when I did my rewatch of the movie, it's like, okay, when did I not start? When did I start really losing my opinion on this? It's like, oh, okay, here's the moment again.
Yeah.
Like I had to be fucking reminded by that by rewatching it. Like that tells you something how much that movie actually stuck with me after I watched it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, the big problem with that I had with it is it's one of those unfortunate things where if you took the name Alien out of the movie, it wouldn't be a great movie, but I think it'd be a better movie. So
I mean, if
'cause
you
it feels
just
like
called it
doesn't-
Covenant, yeah.
yeah,
If it was just
It doesn't
about
really-
these people on a ship.
yeah, it doesn't really feel like it adds much of anything to the franchise, even though it has these like massive sort of implications. It's
Yeah.
just kind of been there, honestly.
Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
could
really hard.
rewrite it.
That is a perfect way of describing it. Like this movie is kind of just there.
And in a way, that's kind of worse than a movie that pisses you off. But again, that is the kind of permanent sort of endless
Yeah.
battle we have of what's worse, a movie that pisses you off or a movie that bores you to tears.
Mm-hmm.
Movie the force to tears.
Like, I
I
would
mean,
say,
I'm of the opposite persuasion, but yeah.
I'd say if you want to, if you were to rewrite Covenant and make it its own thing, I'd say you should also rewrite Prometheus to not be part of the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
You just
and
make
that's-
this a two-part story of Prometheus and Covenant. You could be a robot of whatever, or an android of like whatever design. You could still do that story.
Mhm.
It just has nothing to do with Wayland and all of that other stuff. You could literally keep the same exact tone, the same exact plot points as long as you just file off Alien from it.
Yeah, it's literally better to put this. It's basically Alien in name only.
Yeah. Yeah,
In a way,
if you
yeah.
do, and then just do not have the xenomorph at the end. Have like just
Right.
some monstrous fucking like it's perfect, like, type thing.
Make it a like Galaxy of Terror or something like that. Like,
Make it like Creature.
yeah,
Yeah, you could do. Jesus Christ, you could do that. It would work. Like honestly, I think in that case the film would have been just fine. It wouldn't. It would have been seen as a duo of films that are just okay.
yeah. Like
Mhm.
then I would put it maybe in like same category as a movie like Sputnik, where it's
Mhm.
like this is fine. Like, I'm not gonna be remembering too much, but like I didn't hate watching it. So
Yeah,
Yes.
you didn't feel like you wasted your time.
I still need
and,
to check out Sputnik.
and with this, it's like
actually.
it was just like okay, that just kind of happened.
Indeed.
Yeah, I would have no problem with it at that point.
Yeah,
As
I
it
mean,
stands, it's not the worst Alien film. I'm still gonna say Resurrection is the worst. But
It's
I-
hard. It is.
I
hard
humbly
not to.
disagree.
I laugh too much at Resurrection.
yeah,
I humbly disagree.
Mhm.
But you do you, boo.
You do.
I mean, I'd say Alien 3 is the most disappointing because of everything we got from 1 and 2, and then like what it was like. Oh, what we're gonna do with 3, and then it's like, oh, everything changed, and it wasn't, and it's like 3 just kind of floats there.
Productions issues, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Which obviously,
Which
people
definitely is a
will
lead
listen-
into what we'll be talking about next.
Nice.
Yeah, productions issues. Oh boy, yeah. So, honestly, do we have any more thoughts on this?
No, I think we pretty much said everything that needs to be said.
It sucked.
It's there. Is the best
It's
way to describe
there.
it. It's just there.
It has some good stuff, but overall, like, I mean, during this time, if you wanted like a new Alien experience, Alien Isolation had been out for 3 years. Like that already gave you a better Alien experience.
That game was
Yeah.
amazing. Like I still need to get my chance to actually play it, but like I've heard fantastic fucking things. I watched people play it, and I was like, this is creepy. I
it's
love
good.
it.
Like the only problem with that game is just like it gets slightly long in the tooth in the second half of the game, but like that first half is so damn good.
Oh, dealing with the androids during
Yeah,
that part
that particular
drags.
part slows down a bit, but like once you get past that, then there's also a lot of good stuff again. But like those first 10 hours of the game, oh, so good.
Which then the androids pulling the fucking jump scares on you, and I'm like, why are you scaring me more than the xenomorph? Fuck off!
Look away.
Please do not resist.
Yeah, God. But yeah, that was good. All right, so socials, everyone. Varren.
You can find me over on twitch.tv/VarrenKimball, where every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Central European Time, you can see me play all kinds of fun games. Mondays, RPGs with our other co-host, Xeiren. Wednesdays is strategy, shooter, something else with an S. And Fridays, I play whatever the hell I can find. You can also find me over on Blue Sky at VarrenKimball. There's also YouTube at VarrenKimball for stream and VODs. If you want to indulge in some of my OC content that I do intermittently, you can find that over on TikTok. And I still have my Twitter around, but beware that I just, I do whatever the fuck I want on there.
Excellent. Roy.
You can find me here on the What's This Productions Company with the Red Light Podcast. Your home videos is my horror. You also have a running a little shindig called the New Starlight. Looking at the rare, obscure, and hard to find. Go check us out. You got some love mail, some hate mail, some alien mail, some settler mail, some android mail, some predator mail, some sci-fi mail, send it to starlightpodcast@protonmail.com. You can also catch us on that set capital R, capital L, capital P, capital S, Starlight. Yes, RLP Starlight. Send some commendations. Just say hi. We'd love to hear you. You can check me out also on Critic List. I make lists and reviews. I make reviews of found footage here and there for them, and I make many, many awesome lists. Get you out there.
Excellent. I'll link to Critic List.
Mm-hmm.
Doc.
Main one is I am also on Critical List. You can find me there under Chaotic Doctor. I've did reviews, lists, etc. If you ever wanted to see what my pain and misery looks like, I did review Man of Steel.
That was an interesting review.
Yeah.
I read that and like, ooh, that came from the heart.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, you can catch me here at Wolfstead Productions on both the Starlight, the Red Light, and other shows, including Over the Years podcast, where I take Roy through a decade plus of hip hop music because Roy decided to go into a coma for 10 years.
Yes.
Excellent.
Exactly. Couldn't take no more and I went to sleep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You can find me here on Wolfstead Productions. From anime to the shocking horror, Wolfstead Productions, your #1 stop for equally nerdy reviews of nerdy media. You can also find me over on Twitter. It's under Mistress Ookami, MISTRESSOOKAMI. That's my name. Don't wear it out. And if you're feeling extra generous, head on over to the Wolfstead Patreon, where you can get access to episodes that may or may not drop to the general public. Episodes will certainly not be dropping to the general public. Behind the scenes, all sorts of goodies, all for just a measly $1 a month. Remember, folks, $1 a month, that goes a long, long way. And if you're listening to this on our Podbean, Wolfstead Productions, you may have noticed that we've been talking a little bit like we have video. That's because we do. Because for those who are watching this over here on Wolfstead Productions, we are on YouTube now with video. So come check it out. It will always premiere at least an hour, if not 2 hours, before it drops on Podbean. So, but Podbean does get the unedited, which means not as much as you think. It actually just means I've added in music and little stingers and stuff like that. Audio things that I needed to. So, yeah. Either way, enjoy. It's been fun. Next time...
I love that time.
2018's... It was 2018, correct?
2018, yeah.
2018's... The Predator.
We should get the booze ready. It's gonna be a long one.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, Doc, do these spores smell funny to you?
Don't you dare try to get me with that shit, Ricky Bobby.